Good evening, everyone. Welcome you all to the first session of the Coding Competitive Programming series. Before we continue with the session, Hackers Club would like to make some few notices. First is for anyone who is interested in doing generative AI artwork, there will be a competition and the winners will be given some exciting prizes. And also, for anyone who is interested in participating in GSOC competition organized by Google, Hackers Club is willing to provide guidance for you all. So, check on Hackers Club FB page for more information. Today's session is conducted by Dinura Dissanayake from our E17 batch who achieved a runners-up in ACES Coders version 9. Today's session will be a 2-hour session. First, Dinuraya will do an introductory session. Then you will be given 1 hour Hackerrank challenge, and then the solution for that challenge will be discussed. So, without further ado, I would like to invite Dinraya to continue with the session.
Yeah. Hello guys, I'm Dinura Dissanayake, and let me share my screen. Give me a second. Can you see my screen now? So hope you guys can see my screen now. So let me start the presentation. So let me first introduce. This is a introductory session for competitive programming. So let me first discuss why competitive programming, why these programming competitions happen. So why are we spending time to engage in these competitions and participate in these competitions? What are we getting this from these competitions? So first of all, algorithms are one of the most beautiful and elegant part of computer science. Doesn't matter where you go, like when even if your career path is become a software engineer, or in order to go for a research career, doesn't matter. Algorithms and competitive programming will help you with these career paths, definitely. Then this, if you are really good in competitive programming, and if you have like participated in these competitive programming sessions, and if you have been, or even just participation is enough. If you have a win, it will be really good on your profile, your CV, so the recruiters know that you have analytical problem solving and communication skills. So then, so as I faced interviews for my job as well as my internship. So almost all the companies ask, like most of the companies ask uh, to write a little algorithm in the interviews. So it can be a simple search algorithm, or it can be a simple sorting algorithm. So it doesn't matter. Most of the interviewers ask you to write a simple pseudocode, or sometimes a complete code within the interview. So if you are really familiar with these programming competitions, and if you are engaged in this competitive program, you will be able to write these algorithms in the interview without getting without any issue. So that will be really good for your interviews, your career paths as well, because this is a straightforward comparison between two participants. Because like when you are going for an interview, you and your friends both have the same qualification, you have the same degree. Only differences between you and your friends will be these kind of small things. So keep in mind when you keep it in mind. then you can, if you are really good, if you really become good in this competitive programming or algorithmic programming, there will be more interesting roles beyond like generic software engineering roles. There will be more interesting roles in computer science field if you became really good. So then when it comes to algorithm programming, it's when it comes to algorithmic programming problems, solving a particular problem using which is implemented through a computer program. So that's what algorithmic programming is. But if you go to an like a competition, they will give you a problem to solve using an algorithm, and you can use a computer programming language of your choice to do so. So and these computer programming competitions will assess you with the correctness, efficiency, and the scalability. So correctness means you have to write a code that gives the correct answer. So the efficiency means you cannot take like your code cannot like run for an hour and give the correct answer. Your code has to run quickly and give the correct answer, and your code cannot allocate more space than the competitive like competition allows. So your code has to be efficient, and the scalability. So when it comes to these competitive programs, there are like various test cases. Some can be small, some can be really large. So your code has to have the ability to handle small test cases as well as large test cases. So then let's move on. So when it comes to this algorithmic programming, there will be very well defined problems. So I will discuss more in the upcoming slides, and there will be a well defined set of rules and regulations for every competition. So like for an example, some competitions, like almost all the competitions, doesn't allow you to copy codes directly from other competitors. So you cannot simply go to your next desk and ask their code. You will be disqualified. But most of the competitions allow you to go on the internet and find stuff. Even if you directly copy a code from the internet, most of the competitions won't most of the competitions will allow those kind of things. But some competitions may not allow even copying from the internet as well. That depends on the competition. So you have to pay the rules and regulations. You have to pay attention for the rules and regulations. So these competitive programming competitions mostly happen in this Hackerrank platform, but there are maybe some other proprietary platforms as well, like IEEE Extreme happens in another different platform. But like most of the competitions in Sri Lanka will happen in this Hackerrank platform. So then, as I previously mentioned, there will be constraints on inputs and outputs. I will explain this in the upcoming slides as well. And there will be resource limitations. So your code cannot run, as I previously said, your code cannot run for a really long time, and your code cannot like allocate more space than like maybe 250 megabytes. So some limit, there will be limitations for CPU and CPU time and RAM. And like most of the competitions will allow you to write programs using programming languages, like almost all the major programming languages. But there will be limitations on the libraries. So if you have to like specifically install, let's say for an example, let's take Python. If you have to specifically install that library using pip install something, if something, then those kind of libraries will not be in the platform. So you have to make sure that your code doesn't depend on these kind of libraries. So if your code depends on these kind of libraries, you have to really implement the functions by yourself. Then there will be a scoring system depending on the competition. So as I previously said, for your correctness, efficiency, and scalability, these scores will be allocated. So then let's move on. So when it comes to comparing programming, these are the like programming like algorithmic categories. They are sorry. So these are the main algorithmic programming categories. They are in the competitive programming field, and almost all the competitions will test you on these categories. So almost all the competition will test you with all the categories, but there might be some categories they will prefer more, like this graph theory and like string manipulation, dynamic programming, creative like stuff. There will be more problems from these kind of fields. But there can be problems from all these different areas. But I'm not going to explain each and every one of these in this session. But if you are interested, there are a lot of websites and books. I will give you them in the upcoming slides. You can learn these things as well. So then let's move on to the competitive programming problem structures. So this is a sample problem from Hackerrank platform, and this is a sample problem from a platform called Code Forces. Code Forces. So here in this Hackerrank problem, you can see there is a problem statement. This problem statement will define the problem in words. So it will say what you have to do basically in this problem, and there will be a input format as you can see here. So what are the inputs for this particular problem? So they will give you an idea what are the inputs, and there will be input constraints. So let's take an example for this problem. So this is a simple array sum problem. So they give you an array of integers. You have to take the sum of this array. So here they specify the constraints for this problem. So they specify that the array length as well as the array elements are in between 0 and 1000. So this can vary, but you have to pay attention. Like there might be some problems that this upper limit can be like 10 to the power 9 or 10 to the power 12. So you have to make sure that your code can handle these kind of large numbers as well as these kind of large arrays. So it is really important to pay attention to these constraints. Then there will be an output format. So after you getting the in this case the sum, there are some programs specify a special way to print the output. So you have to make pay attention to this output format and print the output accordingly. And in most of the problems, you will get a sample input and a sample output. And for a couple of test cases, so you can get an idea what is the input and what is the output for that specific input. So you can make sure that your code works on the sample inputs before submitting the code. Then in some platforms, the resource limitation are also displayed in the problem. So in this code forces, you can see the time limit per test is 2 seconds and memory limit per test is 256 megabytes. So you have to pay attention to these resource limitations as well when you are doing a competition or uh, a competitive algorithmic problem. So so when it comes to competitive programming, you might expect that this will be like 50% programming, then 30% mathematics, and 20% creativity. But it is really not. These things add only up to 50% with my experience. I'm telling you that you can be really good at programming, mathematics, and creativity. But if you are not in practice, if you don't practice enough, you won't be able to get good results in this competitive programming competition. So it is really important to practice before you go to an competition. So you might wonder, where do I practice? So let me talk about that. So let's say if you are a complete beginner, for this competitive programming or algorithmic programming field. So what should I do? So then if you are a beginner, you have to pick a programming language and learn the basics. So so as a fact, I know that you all knows Python because the GP106 course. But if you don't know any programming language, if you are not familiar with the programming language, you have to pick a programming language, C++, Python, Java, or anything, and you have to make sure that you learn the basic structures and basic syntax of this programming language. Then you can start practicing standard questions on platforms like Hackerrank and CS Academy. These are like the platforms that you can go and practice your practice your programming problems. And you have to start learning basic data structures and algorithms like the list, trees, graphs, and when it comes to algorithms, search algorithms, sort algorithms, you have to start. Then let me show if anyone is not familiar with this HackerRank platform. This is a sample. This is the HackerRank platform. Most of the competitions will happen in this HackerRank platform. So let me go there. So, yeah. So this is the HackerRank platform. So I hope you can see my screen. So this is the HackerRank platform. Here you can practice your coding skills. They have problem solving, and they have like specific problems related to programming languages like Python, Java, C, C++. So you can go into these ones and like practice your problem solving or like programming language skills. So let me go to this problem solving portion of the hacker. So here you can see they have like various different problems. So you can go into one of these problems and like start solving it. So you can start by so even though since I have completed most of the things, these are really hard. But in the beginning of this HackerRank platform, there are very easy questions like basic standard questions. You can start solving these and begin your competitive programming journey. So I highly recommend you to do these problems in the HackerRank if you are a beginner. So because this is a really good platform for beginners as well as intermediates and experts as well. But if you are a beginner, you have to definitely go and solve these problems mainly because this is this because you will get practice from this, and most of the competitions in Sri Lanka and even will be held on this platform. So it is really important you to it is really important you to get familiar with this platform. So then let's move on to my presentation. So these are some other sites. If you are unfamiliar with algorithms, you can practice your algorithms in these websites, cpalgorithms.com, which is a really good website for practicing your algorithms, and the CSCS problem set website. So in this website, there are like standard basic questions related to data structures and algorithms. So you can, if you are unfamiliar with algorithms, you can polish your algorithmic knowledge using these websites. So these are some other platforms you can go and practice coding, Hacker and Code Forces. As I previously mentioned, this Code Forces as one is really good platform. So you can start problems. You can start doing problems in here as well. And the CS Academy, Project Oila, CodeChef, and TopCoder. These are some of the famous platforms that there are for algorithmic programming. Then if you are intermediate, what should you do? So when it comes if you are an intermediate, so you have the basic idea about programming languages and data structures and algorithms. So if you are an intermediate and you get a difficult question, you have to try to solve it as at least for a couple of hours, and you have to like really try to solve it rather than going in the internet or going to ChatGPT and ask for a solution, you have to really try it at least for a couple of hours, because if you want to get better, because it's really important that you solve these problems rather than someone else on the internet. So if you are an intermediate, when you encounter a difficult problem, try to solve it. Then learn advanced algorithms. So there are really good books as well as website to learn these advanced algorithms, algorithms, and these will help with your competitive programming journey. And when you are learning these algorithms, advanced or basic, you can start developing your own library. So open up a GitHub repository, and if you like, let's say if you wrote a search algorithm, then you can put this algorithm into your GitHub repository as a function or as a file, as a Python file or a C++ file. So if when you are in a competition, if you need to use these kind of algorithms, and if you remember that, oh, I wrote this one and I put it in my GitHub repository, so you can simply take this code from your own repository and use it like by changing something. So you definitely change some bits, or even you might be able to use the whole code as well. But if you have your own library, it will be easier for you if you are in a competition. So you can simply go to GitHub and take your own code. Then uh, then always ask for the solutions from the competitions that you attend to. So there are like a lot of Sri Lankan competitions like organized by different universities. Let's say our university, we organize ASUS Codens and want to organize more Stream. And there are a lot of other these kind of competitions in Sri Lanka. So since these are organized by students, you can ask for solutions from your friends for these competitions. So you can improve yourself. So you can get an idea how this problem is solved. If it is a really hard problem and you don't have any idea how to solve it, you can ask from the competition organizers to for solutions. Then at this point, if you are an intermediate, like most of these competitive programming like competitions are team based. So you have to find a team that works for you. So you have to find a team that is good, like that is same level as you, and you have to develop like communication skills among yourself. So in my team, me, Satira, and Shamal was our team. So we know that Satira is good in these kind of problems, and I'm good in these kind of problems, and Shamal is good in these kind of areas. So when a problem comes in the competition, we go. I go to Satira and ask how to solve this, because I know that this person is really good in these areas. Then if let's say Shamal has a problem in his code, he shows it to me and asks from my advice, because he knows that I'm good. So that's like you have to develop like codependent skills and communication skills in within your team. So it's really important to form a team and like participate in these competitions as a team. So, and these are some really good books that even I have followed this Introduction to Algorithms book, because it really helped me with this computer programming. As well as if you are a computer engineering undergraduate, there will be a course called like data structures and algorithm. So most of the content will be covered in these books. So and you can easily find these books for free by a simple Google search. So I highly recommend you to look at these books, because you will find most of the basic algorithms and basic data structures from these books. So these are the and if you want to like get really good, you have to try solving past problems from these competitions. And this CS Academy site has IEEE Extreme past problems and practice tasks. So you can go there and practice for IEEE Extreme type problems. And here are some of the links for the local competitions that organized by us. So the ACES coders previous ones and previous one. So you can go to Hackerrank and try problems from these previous contests as well. Then if you are an expert, what should you do? So if you are like really good at programming competitions, and if you are on the top in leaderboards in these competitions, you have to you should learn C++ to the depth. Why I am saying this is because, like, with my experience, so there are some problems, like if you cannot write an optimal solution for that problem. So if you can write the optimum solution, the programming language uh, doesn't matter. Let's say if doesn't matter if you use Python or C++, you should get the full marks. But you cannot find the optimum solution, let's say, and you found a solution that works like a half test cases. So then let's say you for an example, in the competition, I wrote an algorithm using Python, which passed, I think, like half of the test cases. And Satira convert this Python algorithm for C++ algorithm, same algorithm, but the language is C++ now. Then the C++ version passed couple of test cases more. So because C++ executes faster, and there are a lot of tricks when it comes to CPP. So it's highly recommended if you are an expert to learn CPP, because it will help you in your competitions as well. So this Code Forces platform organizes weekly competitions, and there will be, I think there are 3 or 4 questions per competition, not really long ones, not really long competitions. So these are really good new fresh problems every week. So I highly recommend you guys to like try to go to this Code Forces platform and try to solve these competition problems. Try to attend to these competitions, because it will really improve your coding skills. And you have to definitely take part in global competitions like IEEE FT. And like, let's say you went to a competition, and you should upsolve the problems that you already solved. Let's say you solve a problem completely, but you know that you can write a different algorithm that works better. So so after the competition, you should get it with your team and try to solve the problems, get a problem done. After the competitions, you should get together as a team and try to upsolve these competition problems. Uh, so you can get better. Yeah. Then I wanted to talk about this competitive programming in this large language model era as a one slide. So that's why I added here. So as we all know that we can like, if you go to ChatGPT site, and if you like enter a simple problem, a competitive programming problem, let's say easy, the ChatGPT most of the times give a correct answer for that problem. So uh, like uh, so in the competition, if the competition allows using like these AI tools or large language models, it is no harm to use these LLMs for your advantage in the competitive programming competition, but only if the organizers allows it. But you have to be mindful of the hallucinations. So these hallucinations is when an LLM gives you an answer with confidence, but it is completely wrong. You have encountered this. I am pretty sure you have encountered this in your with your ChatGPT experience. So it say this works, but it doesn't work because it's hallucinating. We call it hallucination. So let me give an example. So when we creating problems for past coders, like coders 10.0, so I created a problem which is a mathematics plus implementation problem. So which can be solved in couple of lines. And we only need maths and programming language knowledge for that problem, which is a medium hard problem. So when I enter this problem to ChatGPT, the ChatGPT said this problem can be solved using dynamic programming, and it gave me a really long code. And I entered this code, and it didn't work at all because it is completely wrong. Completely wrong that ChatGPT thought that the problem could be solved using dynamic programming. So you have to be mindful when you are using these LLMs, because it might like lead you in a different path than the problem. So that's why like if the programming competition allows you to use it, you can use it, but make sure that you are not completely depending on it, because it might give completely wrong answers. And and depending on your like prompt engineering skills, you might be able to get correct answers from these large language models as well. So that's the end of my short presentation. So if you guys have any questions, you can ask now. And please don't leave, guys, because after this session, there will be a challenge for you. So you can start solving the problems in this challenge. So if you have any questions, you can ask now. So if you guys don't have any questions, I think the competition is open now. You can go to the competition. So let me pull. You can go to the competition, and you can go to the competition and look. Let me go to the competition. So yeah, this is the challenge that the Hackers Cup has created. So you can sign up with your account and sign up to this challenge. So you can complete this challenge, and you will have, I think, 1 hour. 1 hour for this challenge. So you can start the challenge now. You guys can leave the session and rejoin after the competition. So there will be a small discussion depending on the time. So please rejoin for the same Zoom link after the challenges. So guys, let's start the discussion. Since with the time constraints, I don't think I will be able to discuss all the problem. So I chose this one because it's quite easy, but as same as it's a little bit tricky when it comes to time complexity. So I hope you all read this problem. So as you can see, I previously said in my presentation as well, this is the problem statement. Here you can get the idea about the problem statement and the input format in this particular problem. So the input format is the first line contains an integer denoting the length of the array. Second line contains the space separated integers represent the elements, and third line is the target sum. So here you can see the constraints. So here they only specified the length of the array, not the like individual elements. They haven't specified it yet here, so you don't have to worry. So there won't be any big numbers. We can assume that there won't be any big numbers in these array elements because they haven't specified it like specifically. But as for the array length, you can see that the array length can be 2 as well as array length can be 10 to the power 6. So your code should be able to handle these bigger test cases as well as your normal test cases. And there is an output format, as I previously said. Here you can see they are specifically asking to print the numbers in the sending order. So let's move on to the code. So as you can see here, as I previously said, the first line is this to get the integer. So n, so we can get the integer by this syntax. I hope you are familiar with these syntaxes, but like this is how you take the inputs in Python, and normally and always they are in the string type. So you have to convert them into integer types. Then you have to take the array. So when you are taking the an array, there is a special syntax. So I will explain it as well after that. So like this. So what happens here is you are taking the input and still it's a string, but this time it's space separated integers as an array. So first this is a good practice. Actually, you don't have to strip it, but in some test cases here it doesn't matter at all. But in some problems, there will be some test cases there might have leading or edging white spaces. So in this example, there might be a white space like after this integer, there can be. But in this problem, it doesn't matter, but there can be some problems if there is a white space like after this, if there is white spaces or anything like new line characters after this like input, your code won't work. So I encountered a similar problem in IEEE Extreme. So the only thing I changed was I added stripped this one to the input, and like all the test cases passed. Like before, like couple of test cases failed because there were some kind of white spaces before after. So you have to so make sure you add it. Then you have to get the target sum. Let's say t sum, and same as that, same as previous, you have to get it. So then, as I previously said, in the the in here, this like problem can have arrays with arrays up to 10 to the power 6. So the length of this array can be up to 10 to the power 6. So if you write a code like with two for loops, let's say something. I'm just writing something and do a calculation here. Do your calculation here. So this will be this particular calculation will run for 10 to the power 12 times, 12 iterations, as you can understand, right? So if you write that kind of a problem, that kind of solution for this problem, your code will get timed out because there will be time constraints in the problem definition. So in the test cases. So for this kind of a problem, you should first you can try the brute force solution. So we call this as a brute force solution. So you go one element by one element in the array and you like sum it up and find out it's same as if it is same as the target sum. So as you can see, if there is an array with 10 to the power 6 elements, there will be the number of iterations this will run will be 10 to the power 12. So we call these kind of like algorithms as big O, like O is squared algorithms. So this is a notation to like this is a notation, and computer engineering students will learn this in your second year. So we call this O squared time complexity. So code, and these are not good for these kind of where instances that the test cases can have large number of elements. So let's see whether if we can complete this problem with a better solution. So the way that we can solve this is so we are the problem is the problem setters are asking to find out whether the number this if there are any numbers that the sum is equal to the target sum. So first, when we are like going through the array, so let's say I eat uh, ARR. So let's this iteration in ARR, we can we can get the complement while like doing this one complement. I mean we can get we can write like this. So what I'm doing here is, let's say this array for an example. So when we are going through this array, first element is 1. So in order to the sum of this 1 and another element to be 20, this next element should be 19. So if there is a 19 in here, so then problem is solved. You can say there is an element. If there is a 19, if there isn't a 19 in here, you can say we can say there isn't any solution. So, but the thing is, let's say let's fast forward for to couple of like iterations, and in this problem, like let me like type the code and explain to you later. We can keep a set as scene numbers or something like that. So this is a set. So in a set, you can have only one element from one number. So there cannot be two ones in a set. I hope you know that. So if there is a if we like let's say give set is like that. Only the distinct elements will be in the set, so there cannot be duplicates in a set. So when we are going through this array, we can set up a set, and we can add the already seen elements to the set. So as you can see here, like let's go to this example. So the complement should be 10. So we are so that doesn't matter because we haven't seen any element. So this iteration won't matter. Then from the second element, let's say this 7 is 10. Let's assume that 7 is 10. So we have already seen this one, and it is in the scene set. We can simply check the like complement of this number is in the scene set. So we can check whether if ITR in scene N. So scene N, we can say the like we found the pair. But the thing is, since if we don't found the pair, we have to like specify, we have to print none. So we have to have a flag or something, some variable, Boolean variable, as like let's say this as false. So if we like if the not the iteration complement. So if the complement, so like when we are going through the iteration, we calculate the complement. If the complement is, we already have seen the complement, that means it is in the scene set. That means there exists a pair, that there exists another number in the array that that the total sum of these two numbers will be the target sum. Then you might have a question like how we like how Python execute this search operation. This is a search operation, right? So let me complete the code and talk about that. So we can say flag equal to here, and then we have to print these two elements because we have found. So we have to print, and there is a special way to print as well, because the way is we have to print in the ascending order. So we can do it by taking the minimum of these two numbers. So ITR and com complement, and the max of these two numbers numbers ITR and complement. So then we can break this loop because if we have already found this, there is no point of going through the array because we already found it. So here you might have the question how Python execute this search operation. So since this scene n is a set, so the in Python, these set are like set are developed as a hash table. So if you haven't heard about hash tables, you will, and you can learn through the like resources that I have mentioned, and as well as and if you are when you go to third year, you will learn hash tables in the courses as well. So sets are developed as hash tables. So if there aren't a lot of elements in a set, normally this search add and delete operations will run in an O1 time complexity. So that means this one only take O1 time. Uh, this is important because if we like use an array here instead of a set, if we want to search in an array, this will be again on because we have to go through the array and find out this the complement is in this scene in this scene array. So that's why we have chosen a set here because we don't want to like if we choose an array, this will be on. So if you have let's assume this is an array, this will be on, and this will be run in times, and the search operation will take n iterations. So again this algorithm will be on square of time complexity, and this won't this like the this this like complex algorithm will be pointless if we used an array here. That's why we have to use a set here because in Python, sets are implemented as hash tables. So then, as I previously said, since now we have seen this iteration, we have to add this iteration to the scene element. So add ITR. So we have to add. So let's say in this example, there is no two elements that sums up to 20, right? So so that means this flag should be 0 because none of, so for any of these elements, this it won't be triggered and the flag will be false. So we can write if complement flag we can print uh, none, right? Yeah. not so you can say you can simply like say if this is equal false or this is not false or anything you can say you can use any syntax you want but it doesn't matter like the idea is if this flag is not true you have to print none. So so in this algorithm as you can see like compared to an algorithm like this uh, with nested two for loops, this will run much quicker. And I want to point out some other things as well. So you can like run the code and see whether that there are any issues. So here you can see there are any issues. I have misspelled false. So you can run, you instead of submitting, you can run and see your code works or not. So what's the so okay. Here you can see for the sample test cases, this code passed. And then you can go ahead and submit it. So let's see what happens for other test cases. So here you can see all the test cases passed. So let's say all the test cases passed, but for one of these test cases, there might be an X. That means it is wrong. Like if you have like see a red color icon here, when you go on top of it, you will see like if it is a runtime error or if it is a timeout error. So if that is a timeout error, you will see a clock here. If it is a runtime error, you will see a like a triangular shaped symbol here. So if it is a runtime error or and if it is an X for only one of these test cases, that means there can be some kind of corner case that you have missed. So let's say an example, there might be like divide by zero error or something like that runtime error that only happens in one test case. So you can like test your own test cases and make sure that your code runs correctly. So let's say for this instance, you can write something like that, this, and run your code for your custom test case and find out whether your code works correctly. So that's again I wanted to tell you here. So I hope you understood this one. I like I try to go as low as possible because like organizers said there are a lot of beginners here. So that's how you tackle one of these problems, and the organizers will share all of the solutions for all three problems. So but I would highly recommend you to try them before looking at the solutions, because if you look at the solution, then you won't learn anything because you will forget like in a couple of weeks. So please, even before looking at these solutions to these other problems, the solution to other problems, try to submit and try to get this done before looking at the solutions. But the solutions will be provided you by the Hackers Club. And they have like given a Google form as well you to submit. So please feel free to do that as well. And I'm asking again, if you have any question regarding the session or the previous session or the discussion, you can ask now. Uh, and guys, this I want specifically you to try this problem. This is an interesting problem, and the solution will like organizers will give you the solution, but definitely try this on your own before looking at the solution, because this is an interesting problem, and if you can solve this one on your own, it will be really good. So try to solve this one because it is not hard, but it's an interesting problem. So yeah, this is a really easy one. So Uh, so seems like there aren't any questions. So Piyuma, can we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we can wind up the session. Yeah, so I would like to thank Dinura for this awesome session on behalf of Hackers Club and the University of Peradeniya. And also thank you everyone for attending this session and for participating in the Hackerrank challenge. And we are hoping to conduct more sessions like this in future. Yeah, thank you and have a nice weekend. Bye.
Thank you, guys.